All right, it's time for another edition of the New York Sports Rapid Rundown. This week, we have another guest joining me in studio. And this week's guest usually sits in this chair in this studio. She is a host and reporter for SNY, repping Connecticut to the fullest while hating on New York pizza. My good friend, Chelsea Sherrod. Chelsea, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dexter. Glad to be here. I do rep Connecticut to the fullest. And it is better pizza there than New York.
See, you had to choose violence here. She had to choose violence, saying that it's better than New York pizza. We all know this is not true. We are going to get into that later. We're going to settle this debate right here on the New York Sports Rapid Rundown. And this week, Chelsea, we're going to talk about the state of New York baseball, why Evan Fournier is so angry and not happy with Tom Thibodeau and the Knicks. But first, we got to talk about another New York athlete that isn't happy. That is Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
He is not happy right now. The Giants and him were not able to agree, as you know, on a long-term contract deal. Weren't able to negotiate that. Mm-hmm. He has said in an appearance on the Money Matters podcast that he would consider sitting out for the season.
Yeah.
Here's the question, Chelsea. Do you believe him? Do you think he's all in? Do you think he really is about that life and is going to sit out for the season and make sure he secures the bag that he wants?
I mean, I think, unfortunately, I do. I do think that because that is an option. And in that podcast, he did say that he's prepared to potentially make that decision. And I think if that's an option, then definitely. It's unfortunate because I feel like the Giants are kind of dropping the ball on this just because of the type of player that Saquon Barkley is. I mean, he's a role model in the locker room. We know what his production looks like on the field. Everyone talks about his injuries and the torn ACL and the ankle that he had last year or the season before. But he came back last year and posted a career high in rushing yards, 10 touchdowns. I mean, this is a guy who is the nucleus of your offense. And he doesn't feel like he's being valued. And of course, when you give Daniel Jones a 4-year, $160 million extension, and you got a guy that the offense runs through, and a guy who, personally for me, and I grew up a Giants fan, I've been watching the Giants for the past few years for Saquon Barkley. So he doesn't feel valued. I do think that he will come back and be there in week 1 just because he cares so much about his teammates. He did talk about having to have that conversation with his family as well. This is a big decision, and he doesn't want to make it just on emotions. But I do think that for the Giants' sake, if this is a guy, he's a homegrown guy, he's been with you his entire career, if you want to keep him and you want to keep him happy, then let's try to work something out. Or he plays under the tag this upcoming season, and he might be out the door after that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You talked about the value he has, and it's the value about what he is worth to the Giants. You're saying that he is the offense, which I think a lot of Giants fans would agree. But this problem is bigger than just Saquon Barkley, right? We've seen NFL running backs get devalued over the years. Do you think there's a solution to fix this problem where we're seeing the star running backs like a Saquon Barkley not get the contracts that they think they deserve? What do you think the solution is here?
I mean, it sounds like the solution is money. I don't think that the Giants are willing to move the market in that way. But of course, with these bigger contracts coming for other positions in football, in the running back position, unfortunately, it seems like there is like a drop off. People don't necessarily value it as much. But the running back position is extremely hard to keep. I mean, these guys have the shortest lengths of careers as far as positions are considered in the NFL. So I think that it comes down to it being money. But if it's for a guy like Saquon Barkley, who is the heart and soul of a team, you look at the Christian McCaffreys, you look at the Dexter Henrys, I mean, you got to pay him.
I like what you did there. I'm not even a running back, but I like what you did there. You did the same mistake that Steve Servey has done. You meant Derrick Henry.
Oh, Derrick Henry, I'm sorry.
I wish I had a chance to secure that bag. I like that you want that from me, though.
No, but seriously, though, it's just, I feel like in this situation, what it comes down to as far as where the market is trending, then, yeah, there's going to have to be some more money behind some of these guys.
Yeah, there's going to have to be. These running backs want to get paid. You heard the names that you mentioned. They're not Dexter Henry. It's fine. Chelsea wanted money from me, and I like that. That's good. We all can rock with that. All right, moving along. We got to talk about New York baseball, and for the viewers there, New York baseball right now, it's been kind of meh, mid, whatever you want to call it. It hasn't been that exciting. Yeah. You seem like you're a little bit disappointed there?
It is mid.
Yeah, it's mid right now, right?
Yeah.
The New York baseball's in mid. The Yanks, they're in last place in the AL East. The Mets, they're in 4th in the NL East, and they're way back. Subway Series, round 2.
Yeah.
Next week, in the Boogie Down Bronx. Is there any excitement for this between the Mets and Yankees? Are you excited at all?
I mean, the vibes are very low surrounding New York baseball right now. But I think with any Subway Series, there's obviously some excitement that comes around it. But I do think it's unfortunate that Aaron Judge will not be in this series just because he missed the first series as well. So that's kind of a bummer. But I think both of these teams are teams that are just trying to figure it out. It's kind of just like seeing which one is going to mess up more or who's going to get it together more. I am excited to see the Subway Series. You know, we got Justin Verlander. He's going to be pitching in this one. I think Jose Quintana is going to be pitching as well. So, yeah, I'm excited for it.
All right, so you have some excitement despite the baseball being mid. I got to ask you this. As of when we're recording this on Saturday, the Mets, they're 7 games out of the final wild card spot. The Yankees, they are 4 games back of the final wild card spot in the American League. Do you think these teams should be aggressive come the trade deadline and go all in to try to make the playoffs?
Aggressive. Aggressive, I don't know if aggressive is the right word for it. I will say that they both are in the same position as far as the next slate of games leading up to the deadline are incredibly crucial for the both of them. For the Yankees' sake, of course, they want Aaron Judge to come back. I do think that he does come back this season, but it's tough because everything's in limbo with him. I think if they see more from Carlos Rodon, that will help them as well. If they get both of those guys back and looking how they have looked in the past, then this could be a complete different team. The Yankees are only, what'd you say, like 3 or 4
games back
out of the wild card. So I don't think they need to make any drastic changes. If they do want to get a guy that can help them out in the outfield or a pitcher or something like that, that could work. As far as the Mets are concerned, I think that we're all still trying to figure out if they're going to be buyers or sellers at the deadline. And our SNY MLB insider, Andy Martino, said that they're trending towards being sellers at the deadline. And if they're going to sell, that could be guys like David Robertson, who I would be so sad to leave just because he's been like the anchor for that bullpen, reliable. It could be a guy like Tommy Pham, Mark Hanna. Those could be guys that they use to get some leverage, to get something in return. A lot of talk has been surrounding if they're going to trade away Justin Verlander and Max Scherzer. I don't think so, especially given the brevity of their contracts.
Right.
But we'll have to see. These next few series for the Mets, they got the Red Sox, they have, of course, the Subway Series, and they have the Nationals. We will see how things go, and I think that will be the determining factor for the Mets.
Yeah, it definitely will. Trade deadline August 1st. We'll see if the Mets and Yankees make moves there. Okay, moving on to our last topic. We got to talk about another athlete that isn't happy. That is Evan Fournier on the Knicks. You're laughing already.
No one's happy. No one's happy.
Nobody's happy. We've got Saquon's not happy. The Mets and Yankee fans are not happy because the baseball is mid. And Evan Fournier's not happy because he wants to be traded.
Yeah.
Now, he came out and said that his relationship with head coach Tom Thibodeau doesn't exist. He also said he was so mad he wanted to spit on people, which is disgusting. We don't need to do that. He wanted to do that. What do you think about what is going on here? He clearly wants to go someplace else and play. The front office has shown patience. Do you think the Knicks should be urgent here in trying to move Evan Fournier because you just don't want bad vibes in the locker room?
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be ideal for the Knicks and to be ideal for Evan Fournier. I mean, he said in that interview that he does not expect to be with the Knicks next season. Now, he is owed $18 million as far as his contract is concerned. So they would have to look for a team who would be willing to pick that up. I think for Evan Fournier and for the Knicks, just as far as the chemistry and the energy surrounding them, yeah, it would be great to get him out of there because you just don't need that. I was reading that the Spurs are a team who have kind of expressed interest in him, and obviously there's the France connection with him and Victor Wembanyama. So that could be something. The Spurs don't have the salary cap to get him, so they would have to send salary just to stay within the rules of a potential trade. But I do think that in a perfect world, get him out of there. I mean, he only played 27 games last season. You haven't used him. I mean, he was taken out of the starting lineup, then he was benched. So he's not really doing anything. Get him out of there. And
he's unhappy, right? So this brings me to this question here, Chelsea. Who do we blame for this, right, of where this has gotten to? I see what Evan Fournier is trying to do. He's trying to use his leverage, show that he's really mad, see if he can get him out of here. Do we blame Evan Fournier for this, where it's at, or is it the Knicks for not trying to keep this relationship positive at this point so that he doesn't get this mad and doesn't spit on anybody?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I do think that, it does come down to maybe some sort of miscommunication. I mean, no one wants to get benched. Every guy wants to be on a team where they can contribute. Do I think that that was the right move for them to bench him? Absolutely. I mean, he was a liability on defense, especially on the perimeter. It just didn't work for the rotation because then he went to the 9-man rotation. I do think as far as, Tom Thibodeau is concerned, I mean, there have been other relationships or situations like this with other players. You can call out Cam Reddish or the Derrick Rose situation or some other guys, but any player wants to have a good relationship with their coach because that's beneficial for that player individually and for the team as well. For Evan Fournier, I mean, it's really a tough situation. I don't know if I blame either party. I don't want to say that Evan Fournier looks like the bad guy in the situation because I think that he's just communicating his frustrations. Maybe he could have went about it in a different way. But I do think that Tom Thibodeau and the Knicks, they had to make the right decision for that roster and for their season. Yes, it was the right decision, but now I think that you got to do right by a guy who you forced to sit the remaining parts of the season and just let him move on. So
yeah, we'll see what plays out. The Knicks also want to be patient because, as Chelsea mentioned, he is an expiring contract. There is value to that for other teams, so we'll see how that plays out. Now, for people who watch this show, you know that we do the 3 hottest topics, but there's another topic. We got a bonus topic here today, and you're laughing. But Chelsea reps Connecticut to the fullest, as I mentioned before, okay? Chelsea is one of the people around here at the SNY studios who's been saying to me, you got to try New Haven pizza. New Haven pizza is amazing. And some people even went far, Chelsea, to say that it's better than New York pizza.
It is.
Now, no, it's not. Now, people know I'm a proud Brooklynite and love the New York pizza, love the Brooklyn pizza. I'm going to say that, but I did something. You know what I do? When somebody says that something is so good, you can't just take their word for it. You got to go and try it.
You're up for the challenge.
Up for the challenge. I happened to be in New Haven, Connecticut last weekend. I texted Chelsea. I asked her what spots to go to. She gave me some recommendations. I didn't go to her top spot. I did that. I had the New Haven pizza, and here's what I'm going to say. I know what you're waiting to say.
Okay.
Here's what I'm going to say.
Okay.
It was really good, guys.
Oh,
it was
great.
really, really, really good. However, my good friend Chelsea, she decided to choose violence on Twitter. And she came out and said that it's better than New York pizza.
It is.
Please explain yourself. Explain yourself to the people, please.
There really is no explanation once you've tried the pizza.
Wow.
Really. It is, but I mean, Connecticut pizza is the best pizza in the country. In the entire country. I mean, I would say that New York has pretty good pizza.
Pretty good?
But compared to Connecticut, Connecticut's pizza is really the best. I mean, I gave you the 3 options. Shout out to Sally's, Modern, Pepe's, which is my favorite. Yes, it's better than New York pizza. And I've only had New York pizza a few times, but it's just the char, the sauce. It's better.
What I will say is
no explaining.
No, dude, I get to explain. I get to explain it too. One thing I'll say. I will say this. It was the closest love I've had to eating a pizza to New York pizza, and I'm very high on New York pizza.
So you still have New York as your number one?
I still got New York as number one.
It's because you're from here.
I can say that about you, and that you're from Connecticut.
We have people who work in our studios.
That is true.
That are not from Connecticut that agree.
Wait, there are? I have not met these people yet.
Yes.
I'm going to have to go around the offices here at SNY. We're going to have to talk to some of these people.
Yeah.
However, it was really enjoyable.
Good.
It was close. I love the char. I went to Modern because I couldn't go to Pepe's, which was Chelsea's favorite.
Yeah.
I went to Modern. Shout out to them. They had fantastic pizza. It was really good. Yeah. I loved it. The toppings were very flavorful. So I have to give New Haven and Connecticut pizza its props. I'm not here to hate. I'm not hating like some people sitting at this desk. I have to give them their props because you delivered. Unlike some other places, Chicago, who talks about their deep dish.
Deep dish?
Yeah, we're not eating with the knife and fork.
I've had deep dish a couple times. I'm not opposed.
Oh, you're not opposed?
I'm also like a hardcore foodie, so like, I'm down to try anything. But Connecticut pizza is the best pizza in the country. We're
not going to settle this debate. I do not agree with her. I still think New York is better. New Haven pizza, close second. I really like y'all. I like what you did. The char is fantastic. Everything is good as rocking. But I'm going to have to take you to some really good New York pizza spots.
No, please do, yeah.
We're going to have to do this.
I went to Joe's Pizza.
Okay.
That's like a touristy.
Yeah, you got to go to DeFara in Brooklyn. I got to take you to DeFara in Brooklyn. We got to make that happen.
We'll have a day.
We'll have a day.
Do a pizza tour.
We'll make that happen. But when she's not talking about pizza. She's wrong on this one. She's usually pretty right in all the topics she talked about. That is Chelsea Sherrod, host, reporter for SNY Chelsea.
Yeah.
Appreciate you joining me on
Thanks
the
for
New York
having me.
Sports Rapid Rundown. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, check out her work. Until next time, as always, everybody, enjoy the sports, enjoy the week. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.